We don't have to tell you that the cost of a college education has multiplied many times over in recent decades. Students take on massive loans and years of debt and often make career choices based on how much they'll have to pay for their education. Tonight, Connecting Point correspondent Carolee McGrath sits down with State Senator Eric Lesser to talk about proposals that could make going to college more affordable to middle and lower income students and families.
In just the last 10 years in Massachusetts, there has been a 75% increase in student debt. There is more than $1 trillion in outstanding student debt in our country right now. And I see it on a personal level as a young person who just graduated from law school myself. It's distorting.
You must mention that.
Which is very expensive, by the way. It's distorting our generation's ability to enter the job market. It's distorting what jobs people take. People don't want to be teachers. They don't want to be public service oriented. They don't want to go into the nonprofit field because they're loaded with debt burdens that are very hard to pay off. And it's preventing things like marriage. It's preventing home ownership. It's preventing people from being able to settle down and move on with their lives. So I think when you look at sort of the constellation of issues in our country right now and in our state, college debt, college affordability is among the most important. It's a bubble that unfortunately is going to burst with some very tragic consequences if we don't do things now to get a handle on it.
So I was reading one study that said on average kids come out of college with $30,000 in debt. Surely people have much more than that. But one of the proposals that you support is an income tax reduction for contributions to a 529 plan. Explain that.
Yeah, so the idea is pretty simple. We want to incentivize saving for college, and we want to make it easier for families, in particular middle-class families, to save for college. So what this would do is it basically would allow you to save a portion of your income for your child's college costs tax-free, much like an IRA for retirement. So the idea is you open an account, you can deposit, up to, in my proposal, it's $5,000 a year into that account. That gets deducted against your gross income for state income taxes. So it helps families, get a little bit of a break when they're saving for college. Interestingly, Massachusetts, we're the Athens of America. We're the headquarters of higher education. We have more universities per capita than any state in the country. We don't have a 529 plan like this yet.
Which is surprising because there's 30 states that have that.
More than half the states already have them, and I think that's unfortunate because I think we're a leader in education, and I think it would be a great benefit to our families to have that benefit, and I think that's the kind of behavior we want to incentivize. We want to make it easier for people to save.
Do you think you'd have bipartisan support? I would think a lot of people would be on board with that.
It's interesting. The bill came to the floor in the Senate a few months back, about 7 months ago, during the budget debate over the summer, and there is broad support for it. Everybody is basically in agreement. It's a good idea. The issue, of course, is it does cost money. It's a tax credit, and tax credits reduce the overall amount that the state can spend on other priorities. So we have to do a little bit of an internal process to find out where we can find some savings, where we can find some offsets to pay for this program. But it's very scary when you look at these costs now and you look at how fast these costs are rising, which is why we really need to do two things. We need to get more help to families and to young people to pay, whether it's tuition assistance, scholarships, increased grants, 529 plan. The other thing we really do need to do is we need to start getting tough on these schools and saying, look, if you're accepting public tuition assistance, if you're accepting financial aid from taxpayers, you shouldn't be spending hundreds of millions of dollars on brand new gyms and athletic facilities. You should be doing what you can to control costs.
Right, but that's what brings people in. I mean, these sports stadiums, in all honesty, a lot of colleges are built on these programs. How do you tell them not to do that?
Right. Well, I don't think it's telling them not to do that. I think it's creating a culture around being efficient and a culture around controlling costs. And I agree, of course, at a lot of schools, these sports programs are big money makers, but there's a difference between, the University of Michigan football team and a local school that's accepting public taxpayer support to then build a multi-million-dollar food court. We've got to be able to do both.
The kids would like.
Sure, and I like it too. I was a big fan of that in college also. No one's saying you can't have any of that,
Right.
but what we are saying is that we need to approach this from both ends.
So there's one proposal that I know we had talked about before we got on camera that might not gain as much support, and that is giving more assistance for community college kids and almost making that free. I can't imagine that you're going to sell everybody on that. Explain how that would work.
This is very important. Community colleges are a gateway into skills training. This is essential for our economy in Massachusetts. I'll give you just a little bit of a sense of this. One example, one industry, precision manufacturing. There will be 44,000 vacant positions in the manufacturing industry in Massachusetts over the next 10 years. This is highly precise manufacturing, things like laser cutting, building the components for wind turbines, solar panels. The median salary in those industries can approach north of $60,000, in some cases $75,000 a year. So think about the lost potential for our state and for our economy if we allow 44,000 jobs with a median income of between $60,000 and $70,000 a year to go vacant, to go somewhere else. And a lot of these jobs, the entry point to them is a good, solid community college education, a skills-based education. So my feeling is that this is essential for our long-term economic health. It's essential for the families who it's going to lift and give new opportunity to. And frankly, we can't afford not to do it because those jobs are going to leave our state. They're going to go to other places. They might even go overseas if we don't increase the access to those community colleges.
So Tennessee has a similar system in place. You have to have a certain grade point average, but if you go to community college, it's basically free. But they pay for that out of their state lottery fund. So somebody might say to you, look, free is not free, of course. The taxpayers are going to be footing the bill. So how would that work in Massachusetts?
Sure, and states, unlike the federal government, can't run deficits. In Congress, they pass things and run up deficits and print more money, and that's not what we can do in Massachusetts. We have to balance our budget every year. So I think there's a couple things that we do. We got to make sure that we're being as efficient as possible. So we got to make sure that the education that we're providing is of exceptional quality, but also we're getting quite a lot for the dollars that we're putting into it. So we got to make sure every dollar is very well spent. We need to make sure that there's appropriate incentives. So the Tennessee example, that's been a very successful program there. If you hit a certain grade point average, if you're a certain percentile at your high school, you'll qualify for these assistance programs. And that's how you want to set it up. You want to reward excellence. You want to reward hard work. Will it cost money? Of course it will cost money. Everything will cost money. But it goes back to the point I said earlier, there's also a cost to not doing it, right? There's a cost to not providing high quality education to our population. There's a cost to not expanding the opportunity. I gave the example of the manufacturing sector. These are relatively modest investments that will have lifetime rewards in the case of a student who reaches their full economic potential after a couple of years of school versus spending the rest of their career underperforming in the workforce because they didn't get the skills and the training they needed from the beginning. So I think part of what we have to do is we have to make some value judgments, and we have to make some judgment calls about what as a state and as a society we want to be prioritizing. I personally think that education and investments in the next generation and in our future workforce and our current workforce are among the most important and transformative programs that we could support.
State Senator Eric Lesser, thank you so much, and
Thank
good
you.
luck with your family, your college debt, and everything else.
Yeah, we'll be fingers crossed for the Powerball.
Absolutely. Thank you.